gorgeous view in Mashpee River Woodlands, looking right up the river. Gonna spin around. Someone donated this lovely bench. Gonna plunk my butt down on it. Oh boy, let's see if I can. I'm looking for the spin button. Just hanging out, sitting on the bench, looking around a little. Looking at that awesome view. But just had a weird episode of anxiety. Got this thing spinning in my chest. Like someone's kind of standing on it all of a sudden. I'm just gonna sit here and take a couple deep breaths and let it all go away. But I filmed a video the other day that ended up being 26 minutes. And it didn't come out. And it didn't come out on this phone. That I'm filming on right now. So I hope this one comes out. But basically, it was about, you know, I have a lot of new viewers. And one I'm looking for out here, why I'm out here in these parts, looking for what I am. For those of you who have been with me longer, you know that I used to do videos about how there couldn't be these things on Cape Cod. We had a bear once, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, probably longer than that now, probably 5 years back. And this bear was here for a week. Came down through the green corridors, had swam across the Cape Cod Canal, came down through the woodlands around the base to these areas, but it ended up following the power lines all the way down Cape. I think it got as far as like Truro, maybe even Provincetown. But while it was here, there were like 10,000 sightings. If the poor bear had found this woods, he would probably still be out there. Instead, they captured him and brought him back to, I think, Western Mass. But there's just a ton of land in here. There's a ton of places to hide. It's an interesting area. Food sources, hiding spots. There are back ways out. You know, I could get to the canal through the woods. Probably 4 or 5 different major routes, and then each of them having, you know, dozens of alternate routes. So the possibility of what we're looking for being here is frankly pretty good. But really what I've been doing on my walk today, until this little chest thing, it's not a heart thing. It's like in my chest. It's like someone's standing on it. And I'll be fine. Don't worry. But I've been thinking a lot about the nature of whatever this is out here. I'm still pondering. I gotta get into talking mode. So whatever it is leaving big footprints. I found 3, maybe. 1 good one, 3 questionable. Finally found a left foot, so it's not a one-legged creature. The right foot, I found 3 of, and each of them has a dramatic curve from the ball of the foot to the heel. It's just a really dramatic curve, not almost a straight line like my foot would be. So that starts me questioning. It's big. They're like 15, 16-inch prints. It is it injured? I don't know. Other people have looked at the print and said quite possibly yes. Either it's injured or it's favoring that foot, or that one side of that foot for some reason, like a cut or some sort of injury. So that's interesting. Christopher Noel, it might have been 2 weeks back now, a week and a half back, had a call in the woods. It's probably longer than that. I was on vacation for a while. Anyway, on his channel, he had a call in the woods. This was before the Jamboree videos, if you watch him. And it sounded like a lone being at night. And it was almost a pleading call. Like a whoo, but not an aggressive, like barking whoo, like a whoo. It was a whoo, you know, it sounded, for lack of a better term, pathetic. And that's the noise that I hear here. I got one on tape. I've had other hikers out here ask me if I heard that and what kind of bird that was. One of them was actually, you know, a bird watcher, and they had absolutely no idea what it could be. It was not like any of the native birds to the area. But it's a pleading whoo. Which brings me to thinking about the different kinds of calls. You know, if you've ever been, like in the woods of New Hampshire, if you come across a clan, what you'll hear is kind of almost a barking, or at least what I hear. And I'm the only one who, you know, can define that, because it's what I hear. What you hear may be different. But it's almost like a barking, very aggressive. And that's what I would perceive to be an alpha call. And its main purpose is to get you the hell out of there. There are whoops and answering back. That's a different kind of call. But I think when we hear these pleading calls, what you're hearing is a lone Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, looking for others out there. So is that what I have here? Do I have a lonely Bigfoot? Do I have a lonely Bigfoot that's craving attention? The cries looking for someone else out there? The fact that very early on into my looking around here, my search here, I think we'll call it a search, not research. Except for the second time I do it, that maybe be research. But no. Anyway. Is it a lone Bigfoot that's needy? I don't know. I'm pondering as I talk, and I apologize. That's not the best way to do this. But I want to give some examples now. Without gifting, I started in a clearing not too far from here, arranging rocks. The next time I went through, they were rearranged. Now, yes, it could be hikers, but it was off trail. And I found it interesting. Started gifting sage and garlic at that point and getting more responses for gifting. That went on for a while, and other things came up. This spring I ended up in the mountains of New Hampshire for weeks at a time, and I wasn't checking in at the rock pile. The next time I came to the woods after that, I think this thing saw me. I didn't go to the rock pile then either. I walked through, walked all around, walked back out, And as I was walking up the trail towards the parking lot holds like 3 or 4 cars. It's not, when I say parking lot, it's not huge. And it's always empty, which is good. But I was walking back up the trail to that, and there was a rock, one of the rocks from the rock stack, at least the same kind, which I'm not even sure what they are. And it was in a tree. So it was like a 25-pound rock, and it was 8 foot up in a tree. I'll put pictures of that on here. That's curious. Is that them saying, hey, you know, where you been? Missed you. Come play with me in the rock stack. Maybe. I really don't know. There are other things that I would find. Today I went through the swamp too. To get to this trail you have to. And I went through that swampy area, which is where the cedar trees grow. When I got back to my truck, there was a cedar branch broken off and leaned against the driver's door of the truck. Is that them saying, hey, look, I saw you. I know where you were. You know, I know that you sit in this seat when you move this big object, because it was against the driver's door. I guess what I'm really doing is I'm wondering if other people out there have similar experiences in their areas. Do you think it is? Do you think these are social creatures? You know, we talk all the time about them being in clans or tribes, family units, what have you. Do they need that interaction? And is the fact that I stop and photograph these stick structures and what have you, and I really think these things notice when we do that, does that make this thing think, oh, he knows I'm here, maybe I can interact with him, and that's some kind of, I don't know, hominid interaction? These are just the thoughts that are going through my head, trying to figure this thing out in the woods here before I go away on my next mountain trip. On that, I am stuck on the Cape for probably another month, probably till about the end of August. My mother, unfortunately, broke her neck. She's doing fine, but I have to stick around the Cape and take care of her until my brother comes back from National Guard duty, and then he's going to take over, and I can head back to the mountains. So, for the next month, anyway, most of the videos that you folks get are going to be from this location. I'm probably going to do some other videos where I look at what the Bigfoot community is posting and compare and contrast evidence to mine. I hope no one minds that I do that, but I just think it tells us subtle differences between areas. So yeah, that's what I'll be up to for the next month. I hope I didn't bore y'all. I'm going to go finish my 5 miles for the day, and I will talk to you guys later.